Texans are voicing their opinions tonight about U.S. involvement in Syria as Congress prepares to discuss a possible strike in just 2 days. Good evening and thank you for joining us. I'm Lexi Cook. Tonight, President Obama is facing what could be a tipping point in his presidency. An unscripted remark about a red line for Syria has snowballed into what could be his biggest crisis. Does he or doesn't he go ahead with the planned attack to punish Syria for alleged use of chemical weapons, even if Congress and the American people don't approve? President Obama returned to Washington Friday from a disappointing effort at the G20 summit, where he failed to win over member nations to his Syrian cause. He now faces a possibly pivotal point in his presidency. With his leadership on the line, Obama must persuade a deeply doubtful Congress to approve his plan to attack Syria. Polls show a majority of Americans oppose the plan. The president will make his case personally in a White House address Tuesday night.
We are the United States of America. We cannot turn a blind eye to images like the ones we've seen out of Syria.
A case he previewed in his weekly address.
This was not only a direct attack on human dignity, it's a serious threat to our national security. Failing to respond to this outrageous attack would increase the risk that chemical weapons could be used again.
In Russia Friday, a sign the crisis was cracking the president's trademark self-confidence.
I understand your skepticism.
Senator John McCain has been beating the drum for a strike, but Arizonans have been a tough sell.
We cannot afford to turn Syria into another Iraq or Afghanistan, I beg you.
Doubts trouble even the president's staunchest allies.
What would I be saying and what would I be doing if George Bush were in the White House? What's right should be right no matter who sleeps in the White House.
Which may be hard to do these days. The tension between Congress and President Obama is being felt all over the U.S., including right here in East Texas. Protesters hit the streets today to promote peace in Syria. East Texas News Weekend's Laura Sadler met with some of those protesters who believe U.S. involvement in Syria could lead to terrible consequences at home.
Honks could be heard across East Texas as protesters line the streets, pleading for peace in Syria.
We're promoting awareness, and we're also trying to show to our representatives that there is support against the intervention in Syria.
Brad Hoff is an ex-Marine from Waco to protest in Tyler.
When I talk to military buddies, is that they're very much opposed to this possible intervention. They just don't see what our interest is in it.
Hoff says he is fighting not only for peace, but for the safety of his family.
My wife is a Syrian Christian, which means we currently have family over there stuck in the middle of this horrific conflict.
And Brad is not the only protester with family involved in this complex civil war. Shafiq Musa moved from Syria to the United States 18 years ago. He says he is now housing some of his family members who recently escaped the crisis in Syria.
Very scared. Hunger, poverty has spread. I mean, I have people calling me, friends and families, like they just want any kind of support.
Although Obama has stated the involvement will be a no-boots-on-the-ground attack, these protesters say recent history shows a war could follow.
If he attacks Syria, Russia and Iran and China and all these other countries are going to retaliate on us, not him, us.
The support has been positive. Most people are against the intervention in Syria.
They say opposition is obvious if you listen to the honks. Laura Sadler, East Texas News Weekend.
Members of the Tyler Liberty Alliance say they are not anti-President Obama. They simply do not support a strike on Syria. Hudson police say an investigation is underway after an East Texas man